Performer. This is Dark Nights. It's about 1 a.m. in this silky highway of dreams and nightmares, and that's why Dark Nights is just a catchphrase of going, Dark Nights. I got stabbed and raped, and I tried to crawl my way out of the pool of the Jersey Shore Hudson River. Dark Night. This is more so for people on a general basis of just who are struggling. I recognized that cognitive behavioral therapy, life is all in perception, but I realized no one cares what anyone thinks. It's all the narrative we tell ourselves and subconsciously. And I realized how I look at my life is very negative, and I'm sure a lot of people have that problem. And I think it's what we want life to be versus what life is, and accepting life as is and letting go of what we want it to be. Because all suffering in the world is because people want their life to be a certain way. You know what I mean? Like if I look at the things I wanted in my life, it would be a fucking nightmare. But if I look at the things I got in my life's weirdly fucking awesome. And that's not like a brag. It's just, I guess it's all perception. And I realize the narrative that I tell myself is all negative. Like everything I say is negative. And I'm trying to look at things positive. Like for those who imagine everything was perfect. And I know that's black and white, but imagine my purpose is just to sit here. My purpose is to go get the mail. My purpose is to go to the store. Like that's God's divine objective purpose, is that everything is perfect. Like how would life be if everyone thought of it like that?
I wouldn't think of it as perfect or shitty. I just am in between the way I think you should be.
Perfect in some grand design. Like the events were perfect to train you or give you the thoughts or ideas to have X, Y, and Z. And then it like goes to next lives and eternity. But I just started to think of if everything was perfect and we just can't see it, because that's all suffering is, not knowing what life is for. So we have to give our own reasons for life, or not knowing what happens when we die. So we give our own reasons. But if objectively we were told it's perfect to not know the meaning of life, it's perfect to not have control of your life, it's perfectly fine. If we told ourselves that in everything, that's how I'm trying to process life. This is worse than going towards Christianity, by the way. This is like I'm so close to the edge of doing the thing, because it's like all I have left is to say everything's perfect. If you look at what life is objectively, it's us being born into consciousness and then us slowly dying, our cells decaying. It's like our body is letting go of existence. It's like we were brought here just to die, and that's the whole purpose. Like we're forces of procreation to procreate so other people can just die. But it's like our body, our gravity is letting go. So why wouldn't the purpose of life just be to let go and accept life as is, and not the idea we have of it in our mind?
I don't have an idea in my mind of life. I don't think about it the way you think about it. It's just, it is what it is.
What if
I don't care about what the purpose is? And I think also the purpose changes on a daily basis. The things you want in life, you keep saying, oh, I want this in life, and versus what I get. Well, what I wanted in life in 2017 is not what I want right now. So it changes. It's ever flowing and
but I've been pretty consistent in what I want, and the majority of people go for what they want in life, or they just accept what they get, because a lot of times people get what they want and realize, oh, I didn't want this, I want something else, and then they're kind of never happy, because true inner fulfillment is within. But it's all together, whether you get what you want or you don't. It's accepting what life is. Like even if it's like, oh, I got this fucking mental illness and everyone I love's dead, and I can only preach to like 100 people, and I'll never be some influential figure to the world. I'll just accept as is, like this was God's divine plan. Like if God came down and said, you were meant to be no one, a nameless, homeless drifter, that is your divine purpose, it would be like, okay, then I'm living purpose perfectly.
I don't care. I just don't care if it's divine
Because you don't care
purpose.
if you do it over again. That's why.
I
You
mean,
could die, and that it was that quote you said that fucked me up. Is
What?
the Nietzsche? If you could live your life over again,
Oh, yeah.
a demon said you lived it 1,000 times, and I said that would be awful. But it's really just because of I look at my life in a very negative lens.
That's why I didn't hear from you for 3 days after I gave you a Nietzsche quote, and then you finally called, like, I'm pretty sure on some sort of something in a park crying.
It happens. I was in South Carolina for work. You know, it's hard for me to get work because everyone really likes me and they promote my name and I become really successful. And so I have to get weird jobs just for cash. You don't view your life through any kind of lens of positive or negative. You just kind of view your life.
Yeah.
It's really strange.
Do you think?
Well, because a lot of people add on to their life. It's like they add little, nouns to what their life is. And you just kind of take your life as is. Like, this is my life. Some people say, this is my life. It's and blank, and it's a positive or negative perception. You just say, this is my life. You don't add a perception to it.
I mean, if I had to put it in a category, I would say it was good.
Yeah. I would just say mine was strange.
I love how we're talking in past tense. It was. Like,
It was.
You guys ready for the finale tonight?
I just, after that heart issue on the one podcast and docuseries and the scare in January, I just feel like I can't keep fucking living. And I've been thinking about dying a lot. You know, like I've been thinking about traveling here and there. Like, no, but I've been like, oh my God, there's going to come a time where I'm just going to, whatever the fuck happens, it's going to happen to me. It's going to I'll just evaporate into the sky or whatever the fuck happens, or the simulation turns off, or I enter the next realm, or God says, hey, that was just a joke. We were just fucking with you. Now you can actually succeed in a career and be a performer or feel fulfilled or help out and save the world. And you're not just some nameless person screaming into the void. Like whatever the next thing is. But that's fucking scary to me. It's like, it's just weird. I don't even find it scary. It's just, we're all going to fucking die. I'm definitely going to die, probably sooner rather than later, because human survival is just what it is. You know, we go back and forth this whole docuseries of whether it's predetermined. When it's your time to go, it's your time to go. Or whether you struggle to survive. And I thought about that. I thought about, what if I had to fight to survive? And it's like, I'm so in this zen of accepting what my life is and not trying to grasp at what it could be, like trying to crawl out of a hole before you die, or just accepting I'm falling in this hole. So in the vein of accepting and seeing everything as perfect, it's okay if I die young. It's okay if I die in some weird, fucked up way.
Yeah.
Because that's what was happening in January. Don't you remember when I had the V scare? I was like, oh my God, I was saying I'm dying, but hey, you know, I did my best. I tried.
Yeah.
Tell everyone I love them. Here's this.
But
and the same thing with the heart issue a month ago.
You catastrophize when you think there's a possibility for you to die because you like want to flirt with it. You're like, hey, my password to this is this, and hey, this is if anything happens, this envelope and all this weird shit.
You think I flirt with death?
Yes.
No, I think I prepare for what I could see coming in the future.
No, I mean, when you're having a pain in your chest, I mean, that's kind of normal.
It was psychotically painful.
I know, but I mean, I guess with
inhumanly
the vid,
painful.
With the vid, I mean, you weren't going to die. You weren't going to die.
104.5 fever.
You weren't going to die.
It felt like everything was burning in my body.
I know. I had it too, but I'm just saying.
You didn't have it.
Yes, I did.
You didn't have it to the extent that I did.
Not even close to the extent that you did.
But what I'm saying is, it's like, it's just what it is. Like, God turns the machine off, or Allah, or Buddha, or whatever force.
Justin Bieber.
Yeah. And that's my thing. It's like, I look at life like it's a burden. Like, I look at having to drink water and having to get sleep and having, maybe it's because of my medical conditions, but it's like I look at everything through this negative lens of, fuck, I wish I didn't have to drink water. It's been 3 days. I wish I didn't have to eat. My sleeping cycle's always fucked up. I wish I had the ability to have a normal circadian rhythm. Do you comprehend the dialect in which I am communicating information to you? But I realize that's what I do, is I just have this very grimace look towards life. Like, you show me family, love, and relationships, and I say, oh, this is weakness of people you can't live without, dependencies, and things that are going to break your heart when they die. Like, I look at everything as worst case negative lens, and
Totally.
I need to
It's very
stop.
frustrating. Like, I was like, I want to get a cat. And you're like, why? Just buying something so you can watch it die.
But that's how I feel. I don't mean to be that gloomy cloud over
And
your existence.
we were on a hike, and then there was a grave that someone had built for their cat. And you were like, see? That's an omen. Don't get a fucking cat.
No, it's just, to me, and that's the main reason I didn't procreate, is
Yeah.
A, I don't believe my genetic structure should exist in this world, and also B, I would never want to have something that I love and cherish and that is a part of me in this existence. But existence is subjective. It's just me saying it's a not positive experience on why I don't feel it's right to procreate. I feel the circumstance of consciousness, not knowing the meaning of life, not knowing what happens when we die, and all the suffering in life equals no one should ever have a fucking kid. That is the literal reason I haven't procreated, but that's all looking at it from a negative lens. If you looked at it from a positive lens, life is beautiful. There's things to enjoy, and it's okay we don't know the meaning of life. Everything is perfect the way it is. God has a grand design, or whatever universal force, or we're just stardust. So have a procreate.
No, it's just
Like, looking at life through a positive lens
super.
would make me procreate and then marry a bunch of people. But it comes down to who I am. Is I'm different than other people based on my medical condition. So it's like, I have to look, if I'm looking at things through a positive lens, it's okay, how am I positive? How do I view myself positively? I have to then invert social conventionalisms and norms of society to say, okay, like weird fetishist and being up at 3 a.m. and my diet of just raw meats and kratom and aspartame, that's the bar. That's positive. Like, I have to look at everything backwards to look at myself positive.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also an issue. It's like why I always make jokes of like, R. Kelly's just someone who loved and was very passionate in a careless world, because someone like R. Kelly is a monster in the societal morality standards. But how would R. Kelly, if I'm saying look at life positive, how would someone like R. Kelly or Kevin Spacey look at themselves positive, if not to just invert morality and abusing people is a good thing? I'm doing it for God, like a jihad. So Kevin Spacey can go about life positively, or O.J. Simpson.
So you feel like you're in that category of a person who has to do that, convince themselves, like, what are you doing that's so bad that you feel that way?
You know, I just have a lot of dreams of ice cream and murder.
Okay.
I mean, I do it as an exercise of control. Like, I put a gun to my head at least once a month. I mean,
It's not normal behavior.
but what I'm saying is, it's not that I'm suicidal. I just do it so I know, okay, I'm choosing to live today. I'm not being forced to. I'm not being manipulated to live life. I'm choosing to, because I load the gun. I mean, I can't load it ever. And it's just this strange, it feels like gravity, like two magnets that don't, because to put a fucking clip in and put it to your head with your finger on the trigger is so fucking terrifying. It's like you're looking through another portal that you won't come back from. So I never get it fully in. And I just hold it there with the intention to put it down, to say, I'm not suicidal. I want to live life. And then I feel very empowered. Like, I feel like I'm choosing to live, and then I can look at things from a more positive perspective.
Okay.
Imagine the average guy is like, oh, it's embarrassing when a woman walks in on me and I'm jacking off. And my thing is, oh, it's embarrassing when a woman I love walks in on me and I'm holding a gun to my head.
Yeah.
I'm too crazy for existence. But even saying that, everyone's like, "Oh, that's just edgy." But no, I think football is staged.
Oh God, what?
I think baseball is staged. I
I
think shit like that.
Where did we just turn? We're getting on a road there.
But
it went random.
But that's what it is I look at things from this angle and I say it, and
You
people
don't think that baseball is staged?
It could be.
It could be.
It could, because
You
there's
don't
so much
think
money
it-
in the if you were training for years and you were the best in the world, you think you'd know how to pretend to catch a ball or pretend to miss a ball. You think if you could
guess.
coerce all those
Maybe.
like football, almost like it's like a ballet, it's a theater art.
It's the WWE.
Yeah, that's what I sometimes think, or sometimes I feel like that. Like I just get a feeling watching a football game and I'm like, oh, it's staged. It's these people are purposely missing or purposely catching, and they're purposely running, and sometimes they get it, and there's some coordinator behind the desk, kind of, and that's what makes the player's stats go up. Sometimes I just feel that in my heart. And I'm not saying I'm a weird guy, everyone. Look at me, attention seeking. I'll say, hey, I think the football is staged. And people will say, you're fucking weird. It's the dissonance I get from everyone in life that shows me that I'm not like everyone else, even though I try to be.
Yeah, I think we all know that you're not like everyone else.
But it's not even, but the majority of people look at everything through a lens of ego. So they think it's either, oh, he thinks he's better than everyone else, or they mock me of, oh, he's less than everyone else. But I don't look on it on that two-dimensional scale of better or worse. I just think I'm different than people, because I recognize life is up and down. Like, money doesn't mean anything. I could be a millionaire tomorrow, or I could lose the money in my bank account, and the same for everyone else in the world. So money doesn't mean anything. Status in the world of cancel culture, or people who allegedly believe in cancel culture, you could be the president of the United States and a story could come out and people could hate you and you could be shamed as the most villain tomorrow. So status doesn't mean anything. The only meaning is in who you are in a spirit. And I believe it's the love and energy that you leave behind. That's the purpose of life, and that's the being, and that's for everyone struggling. The only thing that matters is the love that we leave behind with everyone. And everything else is just arbitrary. You get a job, you lose it. You buy a house, you sell it. You create some project, it destroys itself. Those are the laws of the universe. But the thing that is forever is making it matter and giving the hope and giving the love. So that's where I come from in that angle.
I don't come from it at any angle because I don't spend time worrying about what the purpose and meaning of life are.
I know, it's just a constant hamster wheel. And this also peaked when I realized I wrote a book about a God incarnate in a human form, and the God has power on earth, and the God then fails to save humanity, and the God then fails as a being. And 3 years later, I read the story like, if I was the one writing it and I was the one imagining it, this was my fantasy, why did I write that the God would fail? Wouldn't any person write that the God succeeds? They're writing a superhero movie. Why would they write that the superhero fails and loses?
Probably because you were trying to replay the traumas that you have been discussing with me today and yesterday about trying to do things and then them failing.
But that's what I'm saying.
You talk about a lot.
So you think the fantasy would be, okay, this is about someone who succeeds.
No.
Like the self-talk, the narrative we subconsciously
No, because there's
play.
too much of that out there already. You could just go watch any Marvel movie. It's you wanted the story of you.
So I think I'm cooler than everyone else because I fail. Like, hey kids, succeeding in your dreams is overrated. Be a failure like me.
No,
you know what's cooler than getting a marriage or getting stable mental health or a good place to live? Failing in your dreams and ending up in 3 trap houses with different hoes who work your money for you.
You just wrote what you wanted to hear. You wanted to see someone else go through what you felt like you were going through, so you wrote a book for yourself. You know how many times we've been watching a movie and you're like, man, if that's the ending, that's the greatest movie ever, but they're probably going to make it all happy.
Well, because I feel like there's too much emphasis, again, it's all ego, too much emphasis on a positive ending or a happily ever after. And I don't want to be the teenage angst, life doesn't have a happy ending, but something more realistic that we can set our sights to, because again, media is the thing that programmed everyone to have wishes and have dreams and have wants of what they think life could be rather than accept what life is. But then again, the majority of movies wouldn't be successful if they were saying this is what life is. So they give you a vicarious, this is what life could be. Like, live your dreams, this is what life could be. Ask the girl out because your relationship could be this. It never shows you what your relationship will be, which is every guy out there, your fantasy girl, the girl you want your dreams to be with, it will end of just you guys being bored in a bed, looking at social media saying, oh, you see this meme? That's the highest. That's what you're fighting people for. That's what you're trying to get the corner office job for. That's what it is. So you can lay in bed next to a girl and wonder, should I have stayed with her? That's every success relationship story. That's the highest bar.
Should I have stayed with her is where you lost me. I mean, the sitting and looking at their phones. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, everyone's like, oh, like when they think of love or romance, the same way I think of like accomplishing a goal or saving the world, these sort of idealistic visions of grandeur in a positive light. I could save the princess and then me and the princess would be happily ever after. What is happily ever after? Virgin guy who's never been with a woman. What is happily ever after? It's being with a woman and then you guys are just, you see this tweet? Yeah. Oh, you see this article? Yeah, that's what it is. That's happily ever after.
Yeah, but if
they don't think it through, they're like, "Oh, I'll kill myself if I don't end up with this girl." But oh my god, I'll kill this guy if she doesn't pick me.
But you're taking out of the equation that a lot of people enjoy the idea of procreation. So once you add that into the mix, you're not just like, "Oh, all we do is sit and look at tweets." You're like, "Oh, I have those kids." So even if she's annoying, she can't shut her fucking mouth. By the way, that was really rude last night.
What?
It was last night and I was watching...
No, last night you did your little fun ritual.
Okay, whatever.
It was the night before.
Okay, fine, whatever.
Last night was not boring. Last night was really magical and special.
Yeah, that was weird. Okay, you're right. It was the night before.
Do you want to tell the people?
You
can always edit it out.
I involved food into a sexual ritual that I performed on him. That's all.
You were eating in bed with me?
No.
What were you doing?
I was doing a thing.
What kind of thing?
The thing that involved...
Oh, like you were licking it off my nipples or my dick?
I was licking it off of a body part. And I would have licked it off of more body parts, to be honest with you, if I thought you were down.
What showed you that I wasn't down?
Nothing.
There was nothing, exactly.
But yeah, night before last, I was geeking out on the Chef's Table series.
Yeah.
On a platform that I don't want to name because it's just that platform. Sometimes bothers me. But it's a great show.
That's what I'm saying. Everything ends with us just being drug addicts on a couch. It's like the teenagers that you're friends with. How are we going to
be drug
We
addicts?
are Lizzie and Random, the teenagers you grew up with. Now in their 30s and 40s, we're sitting on a couch, we're smoking a bong, and we're laughing at TV shows. That's what we are to the audience.
We don't smoke bongs.
I'm just saying, there probably are. They need friends, and we're those friends. I'm the one that'll say the weird fucked up shit, and you're the one that'll just be the chick that hangs out with the dudes.
Wow, that's what I am to this podcast?
I'm the community boyfriend. I'm expendable. They at least want to keep you around. I better not fuck up, otherwise Lizzie leaves our crew. I'm the one that they're like, yeah, he could go any day. We don't give a fuck about him. He's fun to hang around. He's like a magical circus clown. It doesn't really add anything to our lives because we don't value anything he values.
So I'm watching The Chef's Table, and I'm fascinated with that show. I think it's awesome. And the guy is talking about, I don't measure things. I don't know how to measure things. Like, I just feel it. And I'm like, yes, I said, yeah, that's how I cook. And I said, it's like Lil Wayne. I don't write shit down because I ain't got time. I mean, and if you are the kind of a person who's a great cook and you follow recipes, awesome. But that's like reciting a poem rather than writing a poem.
Or freestyling.
And I was saying this, and I was like, and here's where I learned. I learned this from my mom. She's the one that taught me that. I didn't even know. And you go, you know what she didn't teach you? How to shut the fuck up.
No, I said like, you know what she didn't teach you? How to shut the fuck up. It was just a dumb one-liner hacky joke. Oh, women won't stop talking. It's like that's what she said. If I'm like, oh man, at my ex-girlfriend's funeral, this, and then you know what the coroner said? She said, sometimes it's okay to put it in. And you go, that's what she said. Like, I know what a
that's what she said joke is.
That's the women talk
But I was
too much
all
joke.
really compassionate about what I was saying. I was telling you about my history and where I learned these forms of art from. And I really, love culinary arts. And I'm just showing this side of myself to you on a level that I don't think I had shown before. And to be met
I know how much cooking means to you. I've told you to start a food truck. I literally said, leave this relationship and become a chef in Nashville. I've said that. I've said that part of your brain that wires family responsibility. If you went crazy, fucking direct a movie. Lock yourself in this apartment for the next 6 months and just write and direct and edit your movie. Like, that type of shit, I would encourage.
So many times you've said a joke and I'm angry, but I'm like, but that was really fucking fun. Like, the delivery was good. And that was one of them. I was like, and I just have that internal dialogue of like, all right, can you excuse how fucking rude that was because it is funny? And there's a lot of times.
Half of everything is delivery. That's what people don't understand. To do comedy is to just do hypnotism and magic. It's getting in a flow, and you're getting in their subconscious, and then you're picking it up, and then you're pulling the strings, then boom, laugh. And now take it back. And now laugh. Like call and react. Like, that's all it is. It's just you have to fill in the words of like, oh, walk to the bus. And then you can misdirect it. You can absurdize it. Oh, I fell into a portal. You could twist it. You could reverse it. You could do the double down. You could say the thing that's purposely wrong. And then I committed a hate crime. Like the thing because we know it's wrong. You could be parody. You could do satire. You could make a pun. These are all forms of comedy I was walking to the bus. And and that's why I said, they always say in comedy, rape is not funny. And don't you remember I walked in here 5 days ago and I said, rape is funny inherently, objectively, because it's like slipping on a cosmic banana peel that ruins your life. It's the ultimate slip on a banana peel joke.
I guess.
Except it destroys your life and your psyche for life. Imagine whoop, slipping on a banana peel. But instead it's, whoa. It's the ultimate clown and pie in the face. By God or the universe or humanity. It shows you humanity is just malicious animals. If you were thinking life is all Xbox, cupcakes, and baby carriages, someone rapes you, that's like getting a pie in the face for life. See, I told you. Yeah. Wah, wah. That sound should happen after every rape. That's rape. That sound is rape. Except it traumatizes you forever. But that's what I'm saying. It's like...
Ironically, that was on key. We have a thing because he can only sing on key.
I only pretend to around her.
Anyway, but that would be the thing you would sing on key.
Because I'm trying to show her that love is more than something sexual, because she thinks love is only sexual.
No, I don't.
No, what I'm saying is you don't believe in emotional connections. So what happens is I start hanging out with women.
I don't believe in emotional connections.
No, you don't think there's such things as emotional affairs or emotional bonds like that. So when you see me with a woman and I'll be singing crazy in key with this woman, your head's gonna explode. It's this female comic, and this is the thing is I think she thinks I'm attracted to her, and it's not. This is sick. I want to be her, not her, but it's like I want the energy she has, because All of her fans are so fucking nice and she's so pleasant. It's like no one's ever pulled a gun out on her. No one's ever like threatened to kill her. She's never got threatened or banned. And it's like, and she has no idea I do this. She thinks I just talk to her like we're peers, but it's not. I'm like looking at her jokes and I'm like, how can I make that part of me? You know what I mean? Like she's subconsciously a comedy writer. Because I realized the only way I could ever be successful and liked in this world is if I literally do how they joke about all women talk about is their pussy. If I just go, my mental illness. That's every single joke. Hey guys, I was in a relationship and it didn't work out because my schizophrenia. Or I was walking to the bus the other day and then I decided it wasn't real because my schizophrenia. Like Gabriel Iglesias, I'm not fat, I'm fluffy. Punchline for 5 specials. Jim Gaffigan, I like food and I'm lazy. You know what I mean? I'm mentally ill. That's going to be my thing. Bert Kreischer, and you guys have to tell you this thing. Like, everyone has something that's their hypnotic rhythm. Dave Chappelle, and I'm telling you this thing, and microphone, so mine, the only way I can be successful is it's just going to be my schizophrenia. It's going to be the punchline to everything. Every fucking joke I write is just going to be, cause I'm mentally ill. Hey guys, I destroyed a docuseries, cause I'm mentally ill. They don't like me at Gas Digital, cause I'm mentally ill. I got kicked off of a tour, cause I'm mentally ill. People don't want to hang out with me because I'm mentally ill. See, I could keep going and going and going.
I don't think that's funny though.
But when you get in a monotonous or a hypnotic flow, you make people laugh with anything. That's just what comedy is. It's finding that sort of that innate feeling. It's like energy in a different dimension, and it just makes people laugh. And I'm not saying comedy's hacky. I just see certain patterns or rhythms or essence and flows, and I recognize that could be mathematically computed and explained. It's like the first person who hears guitar or a drum beat, they're like, oh, this is magic. And then you see the measures and the rhythms, and it can be calculated. That's how I see comedy, or I see stand-up comedians. That's why I know everyone jokes, but when I sit in a comedy audience, I don't laugh because I'm studying like their pattern, like their tap dance.
I feel like you're taking all of the fun out of comedy.
I don't have any fun in comedy because no one likes me. Nobody likes me. But that's okay, because I don't like y'all anyway. I don't like y'all anyway. I let my whip talk for me, my watch talk for me, my gat talk for me. Blah, what up, homie? Even bitches who don't know me, they want to blow me because the shit I floss on be saying a lot for me. I came in a rap humble. I don't give a fuck.
I just realized I did a reference that no one would know unless they were at Lucy's record shop in 1996 listening to my band.
Serial Killers?
Nah, I mean, I was a featured artist. It wasn't my band, but we were called the Pipsqueaks.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And we had, I go to school and nobody talks to me. I had a girl, but she didn't love me. Anyway, but nobody likes me. It was a fucking awesome song.
I mean, procreation is a big argument of whether people are for or against, and I feel like it's something that should be well thought out, because a lot of people I know had a kid because they thought that's what they were supposed to do, and now they resent the kid and they hate themselves because they weren't built to be parents. And then there's a lot of people out there who feel like, the sort of live for yourself motto, and then they don't realize how enriching having a kid could be because it's growing with them. It's like that, an experiment that you become God and they become the person, so you grow them and they grow you.
I think
that's a cycle in life, and I still don't know where I stand on it. I don't know if I should procreate because it's like the lineage and the bloodline, like if I'm this intelligent to even think of it, whereas the majority of people couldn't. Or is it self-sacrificial that I don't believe the things of this dimension, so I'm saving my bloodline, like it ends with me because enough of the nonsense?
I think that when people say they're on the fence about whether to have kids or not, they shouldn't have kids.
They haven't broken a condom enough? I mean, the millennial version of we're having a baby to save this marriage is just starting a podcast with the person you're about to break up with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. No, but anytime, it always bothers me when people say, no, you don't realize how much you're going to love them until they're here. No, you don't get it.
Yeah.
When that baby comes out of you, you could not imagine that capacity of love. I did imagine that capacity of love. And I realize it sounds like, oh, she sucks because she thought just the way she loved everyone else.
But that's what
But it's not. I played with baby dolls my whole life. I raised my little sister. I knew what that capacity of love was. And it just bothers me. It's like, because don't say that, because then people, what if they don't feel that?
Exactly.
And then now they're just resentful. Like, wait a minute, I thought this was some magical thing. That's how I felt about having sex with a hot guy for the first time, because it was never my thing. And everyone's like, oh my God, he's got abs. It's so great. I'm like, I thought something magically would happen to my body that wasn't happening with the guys that I was
but that's
with
what
before.
I'm saying, is that's the appearance.
Like, this
they try
is
to
not
show
all
you
it's
that.
cracked up to be. And
They try, but that's a lot of things. That's like part of the cult ritual, is to get people to procreate. You have to sell procreation. So you sell these mantras and beliefs of, oh, having a kid feels like this and it changes your life. And they say it even to just go along with it.
But who the hell needs to sell procreation, and why? Other than religious
in
reasons.
Western society, because a lot of people are opting out, and I feel like a lot of people aren't cut to be parents in 2022.
Oh yeah.
And it's them being aware of that, but it's also them neglecting sort of responsibility. Like they feel like, I'm just going to live for me. So then they just kind of fall apart and become garbage. Whereas having a kid forces you to be responsible.
Yeah.
It forces you. It's like a psychic tether. I'm only imagining as the community stepfather for the last 10 years with every woman I've come across.
Community stepfather.
That's a title I'd have. Literally, like in this neighborhood, walking out and like watching out for other people's kids and shit like that. And hey, do you need something to eat? All right, here's some Cheerios and milk. It's, to me, I understand the liberal argument of not wanting to have a kid because you're too messed up. But I understand the conservative argument, or the spiritual matter of, it is like having a second life, and your life ends and their life begins, and it's not about you anymore. It's about growing their brain and molding them each and every day, and every moment of the day you're growing them into this sculpture. And that's the beauty of procreation. But then I think it's like, for me personally, is that kid happy, or did you just have them to make yourself feel happy? Because the majority of people have kids to make themselves feel better, and then that kid grows up being a vessel of pain for the parents, because they resent and hate when the kid isn't making them happy, because they're like, I only made you to make myself happy, and now I'm miserable, so fuck you. Then the kid ends up a fan of Mark Random.
That is an extremely fucked up way to look at parenthood. I don't think that...
I've experienced it. You didn't grow up in the suburbs. That's everyone in the fucking suburbs. Every single house, all those 4-car garages.
To make
no, I'm saying the majority of people.
Make me feel good. I knew it
lot
was
of
going to be
moms in the
tough. I
suburbs
knew
did
it was
that.
going to be lifelong sacrifice, because I don't expect to live that long.
Yeah.
You know, every thing about it, I always assume is just going to be sacrifice. Obviously, I know there's going to be a ton of love and amazing things that I had to do. I couldn't. If I had to do one thing, I had to be a mom.
But you don't know that, and that's the thing.
No, I do know that.
No, what I'm saying is, before you don't know. You just think, because of movies and Hollywood and propaganda for hundreds and hundreds of years, having kids the best feeling. I know some moms that they're like, I felt nothing when my kid was first born, and they said, I learned to love him 2 years. But the first few months, I'm like, who the fuck is this thing? And I'm like, thank you for saying that, because that's a real experience. And it's kind of like how guys look like bitches if they admit realness. Women, for whatever reason, look like horrible to society if they admit that they don't love their kid, or they don't have that feeling that everyone talks about. And I wish more people were honest about that, so they can learn to forgive themselves and each other.
Well, I have that feeling, but it's not like a surprise. I'm like, whoa.
I know people that did not love their kids when it was born, and then later on, it's like then it kicked in.
Well, that could have just been like postpartum depression or...
Still.
But I can't imagine not loving the kid.
I mean, but that they said they had to have someone else hold the kid, because they're just like, what the fuck did I just do? And that's how I would feel. I would feel like I almost damned a kid. But this goes back to perception, is I feel like I just damned someone to this existence where there's rapists and murderers and drugs and suffering and jail and third world countries and beheading and starvation and illness and disease and technology and manipulation and Illuminati forces and evil and cover up and extortion and defamation and dehumanizing and war and pain. Like, I would never in my fucking life gamble to bring that into the world. But then I just sound like an anti-natalistic person. So it's like,
what's a natalist?
it's believing in procreation. So anti-natalist is believing in not procreation.
Oh,
so
natal.
Natal, yeah.
Okay.
I'm still on the fence about it because it's like, you know, if there would be one purpose to life, it would be to procreate. But then it's like,
We're back onto what's one purpose in life.
because we all have genitals that I shoot sperm to make a child. That's why when I was born, that was what was in my wiring. I grew hair, I grew taller, and I grew balls, and I shoot cum out of those balls to make a kid. That was the purpose of nature for a species to survive. But then I think of like humans as a virus, because they look like mold when you view out from afar.
Yeah.
It looks like humanity is the virus.
Yeah,
And-
but what
or
if God
life is the
created this
virus
just like
and-
he created all the other viruses,
Exactly.
except
or
for those that may or
life
may
is
not
the
have been made
virus
in a
and
lab.
we're the antibody. Or some humans are the virus and some are the antibody. That's how I would look at humanity, of like, some are positive energy and some are negative energy. And that's the virus and the antibody. And to an antibody, the thing that's opposite to you looks like the virus. Kind of like, I'm a real person, so I see fake shit as the virus. But fake shit that makes all their money being fake looks at real shit like it's the virus because it exposes them. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying, is it's action, reaction, cause and effect. It's only someone's interpretation of what's a virus or what's the antibody, but that's positive energy versus negative energy.
Yeah, I guess we should really think twice about bringing a kid into this world that is full of rainbows and buffalo mozzarella pizza and Radiohead music.
There you go.
And Louis C.K. and Joe List's new movie and just all these things.
All these human created things.
Yeah.
But if they can't pay for the cable subscription, or they can't even afford the fucking apartment to live in because the Western society Illuminati's destroyed them, or they're socialist in gulags, so you raise your kid in a jail cell where they can't get access to such great comedy as Bill Burr's new special and Joe Rogan, and now we're just doing fucking advertisements for people who probably hate me. Colin Quinn, a fucking god amongst man. Fuck your, oh, Dave Chappelle or Chris Rock's the best comic. Colin Quinn is, if I'm not the comedy god, then it's him. I fucking love Colin Quinn. No one will ever know how much I
fucking
love that man.
Lauryn Hill. How many
Yeah.
times have I made you sit
We were
through-
supposed to go on a tangent
I know.
of was saying good things about life and I was going to say bad things, and we were like in a rap battle where I say 4 verses, you say 4 verses. I say good
I
things
didn't
about.
realize we were doing that.
That's what you were just listing positive things, and I was like,
know.
yeah, but if they couldn't get
I
the
don't
bill,
know. I
and then
think
you were
we should
supposed to
keep going. We can keep going. I mean, what am I going to say? Watermelon and Lauryn Hill? Oh, no, I can't say those again. I swear that was a... I love watermelon.
How outdated is your racism? Everyone knows it's spicy Doritos and Arizona iced tea.
No, I was not trying to make a joke, and I'm not racist.
No, I know, but people don't know. They're going to cut this clip and say you're racist, but she really does love watermelon.
And
she
Lauryn
does
Hill.
love Lauryn
Like-
Hill. So she was just thinking, because she said Joe List and Buffalo Mozzarella. She's not saying, oh, because fucking Italian guineas. She was just thinking of things she loves.
Yeah.
She's a gluten-free person.
Yeah.
And so she eats watermelon regularly. The way I eat Diet Coke or raw steaks, she
And-
eats watermelon, and she listens to Lauryn Hill constantly.
Last
so
night-
fuck you all for thinking that was racist.
Yeah.
Because you can't have a person that just enjoys different eclectic things in life. You have to go, oh, stereotypes, because you're in a fucking 2-dimensional box. I'm living in the 4th dimension. From now on, I'm not entering the 3rd dimension so people will like me. You all can suck my fucking dick. Random. Go on.
But I made you listen to the whole
But
Lauryn Hill
I love that. I would believe her as
Unplugged
the
album.
third greatest rapper of all time. KRS-One, Rakim, and Lauryn Hill. And the fact that no one puts Lauryn Hill in that list, and they're like, there's so many others. But then they
do.
put Biggie in that list, and everyone's like, but he only had 2 albums. But it's like Lauryn Hill, her influence was so crazy and incredible that in hip-hop, not on the world, but in hip-hop. So for Lauryn Hill to not be in anyone's top 5 is fucking crazy. So what happened last night when we were watching Lauryn Hill and you were eating goat cheese?
Now you've told them what the thing was.
Cut
know.
that out. All right. So what happened last night when you were watching
I guess I don't
Lauryn
really
Hill?
care. It's the most obscure thing that you would ever want to eat off of body parts for whatever. I can't even call
Am I just the goat cheese guys then? Is there like in the past, was there like raspberry guy, and in the future there's going to be Jello guy?
I have never eaten food off of anyone ever. And people are going to think it's weird. Like, oh, what is it with goat cheese? Like, I could see their minds going somewhere weird with it. What I say
is...
I was just in the mood for goat cheese. It could have been barbecue sauce.
I think everyone's weird who doesn't do that, who doesn't express their desires because they're afraid to be seen as weird. I like peeing on women.
I know.
But it's a respectful thing. I don't do it out of disrespect. I joke around in humiliation and degradation, but I love it, a mutual thing of consent, and I love fucking peeing on women. It's just what it is.
Why is it always plural? Women. Like, who are you peeing on?
How many women have I peed in 2019? Don't you remember? You were there at 2 different occasions when I peed on women. 2 different women in that year, and you were there.
I remember one.
What if you don't genetically have the best person? And I mean that on a very nice scale of there's a lot of what I consider genetic deformity because I put myself in that category.
So you're Hitler towards yourself.
Of course.
All right.
I would look at myself and gas myself if I were... I'm serious. I would. I would exterminate schizophrenic, PTSD, bipolar, weird comedy, musician, rappers. 1,000,000%.
Oh.
Yeah, of course. I bet all the Jews who have been fans of me are like just got shocked right there. That you know who I'd gas more than them? Myself and other versions of myself. Well, that's all life is life is just different versions of ourselves. I feel like that's why everyone's so attracted to social media is because it's like, oh, this is myself if I lived this life, or this is myself if I had these philosophical beliefs, or this is my life if I took up this interest and hobby. That's why everyone's vicariously lives through everyone, because everyone's a reflecting mirror of everyone. We're all one consciousness of God and eternity, separated to make us feel like different parts of that. And unfortunately, or to your all entertainment, I am the part of the expression that's just fucking crazy. The part that goes haywire, the part that is genetically not all the genetic chaos one, the one that's like, fucking go crazy. So that's the part of the infinite God that I'm expressing. And being aware of that that's my purpose. It's kind of like there has to be one broken cell in everything.
Why are we still talking about purpose? That's all
No, procreation. Because there were so many fucking Down syndrome kids.
Where?
A few days ago when we went to that place.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like those were all from people who procreated, and now all these kids are suffering.
Yeah, we went
at a water park.
We went to a water park, and a whole bus of
Down syndrome people. But I don't even hate Down syndrome people.
No, but it was
I just
really
hate
specific
the fact that they exist.
Kind of Down.
Let's not say, because we're already gearing that territory.
But
I just hate that people didn't think, oh, I might make a genetic fucked up thing in life that's going to suffer. And I'm not saying Down syndrome people are genetic disasters. What I am saying is people with Down syndrome are suffering in life, and their life is agony, and they're wailing in pain, and they can't do things for themselves, and they're fucking helpless, and you should have fucking thought before you brought that into the world, because they didn't have to suffer. So if anything, I love humanity so fucking much, I want to exterminate it so it can put it out of its suffering.
But this was a really very strange demographic of people who have been known for
Hasidically retarded.
All right, well, never mind.
No,
A group of people.
yeah.
This was a group of people who have been known for their religious beliefs to inbreed. So,
I don't know if we can say that.
but I'm not saying what religion it is.
I just said.
Yeah, I'm going to cut that.
Okay.
Just because I don't want to say that. But
I'm just saying,
it was really, yeah, whoa. Like, at least if that's the rap that you guys have, don't take an entire bus of them to a water park.
I know. It's
You
just,
know?
to me, it's like that's the liberal propaganda of gender switching and hormone blockers and IUDs and condoms and different fetish sex and transgender is to prevent procreation. But it's like, on the other hand, you need to procreate and continue the bloodline for the human species that we don't need to be extinct. It's like, why create something that will suffer? I don't understand it. And if someone would explain to me, you just don't have enough testosterone because life is great, or you just don't have X, Y, and Z.
No, you just don't have enough faith in yourself that you can make the life better for the kid.
I do. I don't believe the world could, because it would be me versus the world,
Then
and the
change
kid would
the
have to go
world.
to school.
Then change the world.
What do you fucking think I've been trying to do?
Show up and just beat the shit out of any kid that touches your kid.
I know, and then I go to jail, and I have to fight people there,
Nah,
and
you
then
gotta
I
know how to
have
do
to
it.
fight guards, and then I get killed.
You got to know how to do it right. You've almost done it a few times. I had to pull you
A few
back
times, yeah.
from
I don't want to say this on the podcast
what?
or docuseries. That's why I don't have close connections with my stepson anymore, because I love him too much that anyone fucking with that, because he's also a good kid. So it's like, I could tell if he was being an asshole, but it's like, if you're gonna throw dirt at this fucking ray of sunshine, I will murder you.
Yeah, I feel that way too.
And I was like, I will fucking kill you. And the 8-year-old's looking at me, ah! Whoopsie daisies. No, but that's why I'm just a family friend to them now, and
That kid
I'm
would
not
be pushing daisies.
I'm not day-to-day responsible until I can prove that I can financially contribute and have a family and house. But that's what I'm saying is, you say change the world. I'm trying to change the world. I just don't have that much faith in other people. I just don't have a faith. I believe I could have a kid and bring it into the world and give it positive experiences. I just don't believe outside this world, whether in school or in the job force or in the world or environment,
So
they would have a positive experience, because I think humans suck.
So what you do is you move to Alaska and you have a farm.
Yeah.
There you go.
But then the kid's going to be 20 years old and be like, you fucked me up, Dad, because you isolated me on this farm, and what I needed to do is go out into the world.
No,
And then he's going to cry.
The only reason I can say that is from experience. I know a lot of people who grew up on a very isolated farm, and overall they say their experience was good. And I think their experience is way better than a kid that's just on social media and playing video games. So
Exactly.
if you really want to procreate and you really are concerned about the outside influences of society, then move to a place like that.
But
I
it's
am
like, all right,
trying
what if
so
the kid
hard
had-
not to have everything that we say sound like we're cult leaders, but it just seems like we organically sound that way sometimes.
No, but what I'm saying is I don't even give a fuck. I will
know.
lead the cult. That is my purpose from some divine God. What I'm saying is, it's like, I can't control if that kid suffers, or let's say he has a genetic defect that he has to suffer through life with, and I brought him into this world, and now he has that.
Well, that
I
one-
would never
that-
forgive myself.
That one's rough, and that's
But
why.
that's what I'm saying.
Well,
And
that's
so many people procreate thinking, I'll have a great kid, and then you have a whole bus full of Down syndrome people wailing in pain and suffering and crying. That's what I'm saying. It's not that I don't have any hate. It's empathy, and it's pain. It's cringing pain of I see their helplessness.
This brings us into the abortion.
I see everyone's
topic.
Down syndrome, and I see everyone who has Down syndrome, and my heart cringes with helplessness for them, because I have so much fucking empathy. I just want to end the suffering. Like, I want to end their screams that I hear in my head every day. But that makes me sound like a bad person. But this goes back to me saying, looking at things positively. So I have to look at extermination leaders as heroes, because that's how I view a situation. Like, you're like, why do you look at yourself so bad? Because I believe in euthanasia for people who are suffering in life. And that makes me come off like a very bad Jack Kevorkian type
No,
of person.
I believe in that too.
But that's what I'm saying. You're like, what? Humanity as a whole would look at me very horribly because they're like, you want to kill a bunch of innocent Down syndrome kids? And it's not that. To me, it's compassion for their helplessness and weakness that I want to prevent and stop.
A lot of Down syndrome kids live a good life and
but
enrich.
who's to say, because they're wailing in pain and they're screaming and crying and they can't
No.
put sentences together.
No,
And it breaks
depends
my
on
fucking heart.
It depends on the level. That's like saying autistic people suffer. Some of them do.
Mid-autistic people, they're always in a constant state of suffering, or I feel the suffering outweighs the good. This is why I'm so anti-procreation.
You cannot make that determination.
I can, because I see them. I see kids with autism.
All right. Is Elon Musk autistic?
Yes.
How many-
You're picking the one example. This
How
is
many
what
fucking kids does he have?
procreation
How
people
many
do.
fucking kids does
Too
he
many.
have?
But he did say that one quote that my kid owes me nothing because it didn't bring me into this world. I owe my kid everything because I brought that kid into this world. And that's how parents should feel, but they don't. There's so many fucking things wrong with the conservative nuclear family that I wish it was better, because it makes the liberals seem right. And I don't want to side with liberals on, oh, procreation's bad, just live for yourself, self-indulgence and hedonism. But
Well, you keep saying that's the way liberals all feel.
the majority of liberals do. The majority of liberals don't really believe in having kids. They just believe that
That's
their
not
ideology, that's why they're trying to teach their ideology to kids.
It's just not true.
Because they don't feel they could procreate.
You're looking at the Twitter version of liberals.
No. I'm looking just at liberals as a whole. That's why they feel they have to indoctrinate, because that's the only way because they say marginalized groups like transgender and gays.
You're really looking at the Twitter version.
I'm not.
I have a lot of family members who are hardcore liberals, and
they don't believe in having kids.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
Some
of them have had too many kids
because they live conservatively. They think they're liberals, but they actually live conservatively.
It depends on what you say. Like conservative.
That's true.
Liberal
yeah, you're right.
on what?
Definitions of conservative, what was it? 90s liberals or 2020s conservatives.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't even be using those definitions.
Exactly. That's
so
what
I can
keep
just go on a
telling you.
baseline, positive or negative, of procreation. I view someone have a kid as a net negative unless they can find out what the meaning of life is or find out what happens when we die. I don't think people should be having kids, because to me, that's too big of a gamble. What if religion is right and their soul goes to hell? Then you just gave birth to a kid and now they're in some heaven and hell predetermination damnation battle for deliverance, and they're psychotically and they're schizophrenically trapped in that world. What do you do then? You could have prevented a soul from going to hell, but you brought a kid into the world and now they're going to go to hell in a life that they didn't choose. To me, that's too fucked up.
I just don't have it in me to put that amount of thought into it. All I know is it's just like a thing in me.
Well,
I
people
needed
should.
to be.
I'm saying
I
speak
needed
for
to
people.
be. I can't
people
speak for
should put that thought into it before they fucking procreate.
All I put the thought into is, can I be a good mom? Can I do better for this kid than my parents did for me? And my parents did really well. So yeah, I knew I could, and I waited. And people did say, like, why are you waiting so long? I'm like, I just want everything to be right. I want everything to be perfect. I started the process of trying to have a kid, like wanting to have a kid really early on, but just waited. Oh, I don't have health insurance. Oh, I don't have a house. Well,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I'm not going, oh, well, what happens when we die? Because
they might go to hell.
Right, yeah, and that didn't...
Or they might be a child molester or be a mass murderer.
That didn't cross my mind.
It should have. It should for every fucking parent. And that's what I'm saying is, I don't believe in procreation until we can figure out these fundamental issues of life. But again, that's looking at life as a net negative.
Exactly.
If we look at it as a positive, like, what if God's purpose for us is to not know the meaning of life? Because that would stop all the mystery. Or we're not supposed to have control. And we're supposed to procreate and then have that anyway. Then it's like, then I would be right to just procreate and give another genetic disaster into the world. And then he's fucking mentally ill and alone. And I abandon him because that's what I do. And that's his luck of the draw, just like my luck of the draw. And the cycle of luck of the draw keeps being broken, but we keep looking at it as perfect.
No one's looking at it as perfect.
No, I'm saying what's meant to be. I'm not saying perfect as in like idealized, everything's great. I'm saying it like the right place, the right time, the right thing was meant to happen because we're all a part of this collective energy and everything was meant to be experienced the way it was. Like that type of perfect. I just don't believe in putting someone through that kind of terror or suffering. Especially if I can control that.
I mean, I feel like it really does lead into the topic of abortion, which I haven't really fully formed.
I believe in abortion because I don't believe you should bring a kid to this fucking world.
Right, but I feel like I've always been obsessed with where is the line on any issue. Like, where is the line on what's funny?
Again, and like
where
I said,
is the line on when it's justified to give someone the death penalty?
Yes, and like I said, if we knew what happens when we died, we would be able to make those discernments. But the fact that we don't know what happens when we die and we don't know what this life is or consciousness is.
Oh, so if like the death penalty meant you just go to heaven no matter whether you're a good person or
no one gives a shit about the death penalty.
No, they're like, you're staying here.
Yeah,
we're gonna have you prison raped every day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then again, why would you have someone prison raped because they were born into a life they didn't control, have genetics that they couldn't control, maybe try to make decisions that maybe they could control or not, but shitty circumstances, and then they did something horrible because they feel horrible inside, and then their life is just a vessel of suffering and misery. Why do that? Just, to me, end it.
Well, I got an amniocentesis test when I was pregnant to find out if there were going to be issues with the kid.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how I was going to handle those test results. But they came back fine. And I still don't know. Because, like, for the reasons you're saying, like, if they're telling me the kid is going to come out really messed up and going to have a horrible life and need a breathing machine and this and this and that, I think I had that moral quandary of what do I do then?
But that's what I'm saying is that's why I have Plan B pills and I use women IUDs because it's like I don't even want to enter that room of discussion of should we have this baby even if it's mentally disturbed or not. I don't even want that as a part of the equation because I believe it would be so horrible. But then again, it's all based on I don't know. If I look at life through a positive lens, like everything's meant to be the way God made it, then I still wouldn't, just because I just don't believe in, like that better to have loved than lost than not loved at all. I've loved, I've lost, and now I'm in the like not want to love at all. Like I would rather not have a kid than to have a kid and then have the kid have good times or bad times in life. To me, the 50-50 coin flip gamble is just too much to put on a baby. I'll come in the ass.
We were talking about
abortion.
No, I meant earlier when we were fooling around.
Yeah.
And I forget how we got in the topic of that time that we did that act.
I mean,
and I was like,
that time that we did that thing, we did that act, that time, that's so vague.
I mean, we were just talking about you coming in a butt.
Yeah.
So I thought they would have.
You said butt is funny because usually people are like come in an ass or sexual or ejaculate into an anus, but come in a butt. Come in a butt.
Sounds like.
Come in a butt.
Some weird TikTok.
Come in a butt. 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 Come in a butt.
Sounds like something that someone would remix. Like someone just they're gonna remix this.
Come in a butt. Come in a butt. Come in a butt. Come in a butt. Wow 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 wow. Come in a butt. 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 Come in a butt.
A few hours ago we were having this conversation. Would you stop? What is this?
The TikTok. That's what our Dark Knight series should be. It should just be 50-second TikTok clips and 1,000 of them.
We were having that conversation a few hours ago.
Yeah.
I forget how we got on the topic, but talking about how did we get on the topic
of what? You can't. Oh, coming in a butt?
Yes.
I don't know how we got on that topic. Because I said that's why I'd rather come in a butt. Or come in a mouth of a chick.
No.
Or come in her chest. But not coming in her pussy, because then that creates a fucking genetic disaster of suffering.
No, we were in bed and we were talking about a time we did an act.
Okay.
And I was like, you were like, did I come? I was like, I sure hope so. Because if you didn't, what a waste. What do you think was going to happen? A shit baby was going to come out?
Yeah. You waited an hour 30 to run that punchline?
It's not a punchline. What do you...
You know what? That was a good joke. Fuck everyone who didn't laugh at that. We're supporting each other on the Dark Nights.
Wait, like, that wasn't in my back pocket. I just thought of it.
Yeah. You're right. I shouldn't be diminishing.
Yeah.
Because life itself is diminishing. Life is just diminishing from what death is.
No, you just think I'm a hack that sits around with that as my punchline for the show?
No, I don't.
I
and I'll never think of you as that. Even if you do hack shit, I'll just fuck it. It's brilliant because it's her. Well, no, that goes against my argument of, oh, people just blindly support women comics. But no, just love and positivity, everyone.
That was a literal conversation we had a couple of hours ago.
And what was the point? I've come in your ass. I have to believe I've done it a few times.
But I don't...
what's the point of it?
Because neither one of us can remember that. And I was like, wait.
Oh, hold on. We always use condoms because you didn't want, poo to go in my pee hole.
Oh, good. Good for us. Use condoms, kids. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, but that doesn't mean you didn't come. Did you come?
I wouldn't remember.
I don't remember either.
I can't believe there was a time in my life I was taking Seroquel and also coming. That concept to me is fucking crazy. I could come on Seroquel.
You just pulled the bottle out, lay it out like a line, and just come all over it?
Oh, this
is what he gets from now.
Comedically is taking literal forms instead of metaphorical or theoretical, which is also a brand of comedy.
This is all you're going to get for the rest of the podcast because of your assumptions of me.
No, I would never make an ass out of you and me. Do you get that joke?
You mean the one that everyone's been telling since 7th grade? When you assume, make an ass.
Grade.
Oh, 4th grade for this little youngin'.
I always used to say, do you know what you get when you assume? You make a fucking dick out of yourself. What do you mean, ass out of you and me? What kind of shit is that? I was always one step ahead of people who did hack shit.
It's good.
Yeah.
So why is it that when I first wake up in the morning, you have to jump on top of me and start saying...
Animal sex. It's because I missed you.
Animal sex. But why animal sex?
Because when I go to sleep and I'm dreaming, that's a whole 13 hours without you. And I wake up and I'm like, I'm with my best friend. So I jump on top of you.
But you're not even into animal sex. It's just, it's the... Oh, come on.
I wouldn't be fucking you if I wasn't into animal sex.
No, really, though. You just know it's the most fucked up thing you can say.
Not always, because if you're fucking like a dog or a goat, and I said
you just made up a
animal that formulated on Noah's Ark. It was a dog and a goat.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is not into animal porn. He just loves the obscure reference.
Yeah. And
decides to throw it at me when I first wake up.
To me, it's hot if a chick sucks a horse cock because it's like, then I know she's got room for me. Hey.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is where we're going now.
Central.
You guys
That's
can
what
just,
it is.
You guys can just
what
tune
if the
out.
purpose of life is just to be a comedic hack? Like if God came down and did that. This isn't on the hack side, but
I'm going to cross this out and write
I was
hacks
at an airport,
right over it.
I was at an airport bar and I really hope this chick finds me. She was like in Oklahoma and blonde hair and she had to clean up, right? So she just picks up this huge thing of bleach and just so purely and primalistically just bit it off with her teeth and then started cleaning. And just the way that she didn't give a shit that she bit into toxic chemicals and they were going in her mouth was just, I got a little wiggle. Because she did it like it was so natural. It was so fucking weird. And I was like, that was fucking hot.
The stuff that gives you a wiggle will never cease to amaze me.
No, it's the same thing. The stuff that gets me off is people being their natural habitat and doing their blissful things. Like in her mind, there was nothing wrong with just like gnawing on it in public.
That was not worth whatever she was being paid by the hour for. Like, there's no way that...
But that's what I'm saying. Imagine biting into bleach with your teeth to pull the thing off so you can pour it on like a bar grill or something.
For like
and she just did it with her. She could have used her hand, but she didn't. Her instinct was, oh, I have to clean, pick it up, and used her teeth.
$9 an hour.
Hot.
$9 an hour. Like, she has to...
But when I said, okay, have a good day, God bless you, she said, well, God bless you too.
Oh,
and I was like, you're the first person who've said it back to me in like the last 2 years.
Where was this? Was this Nashville?
No, South Carolina.
So you really did go to South Carolina?
No.
That time when you were on the phone with me, you were in South Carolina.
Hell, motherfucking yeah. I was doing comedy.
Come on, man.
I had a show.
You lied. You lied to me.
No.
I could tell. There was palm trees. There's no palm trees in New Jersey.
Yeah, there is.
There's not.
I'll show you palm trees. Let's go right now. At fucking 3 a.m. We're going to see palm trees. People, I don't... Do you remember when you were a teenager and you would like go to a graveyard at 3 a.m. with your dumb friends? Why do we as adults never do anything like ghost hunting or night hunting? Or
They do. They have a whole network of TV for that. It's like TLC or something.
Yeah, but I just...
Networks are dying.
I don't want to... But that's what I'm saying is I don't want to become the thing that every episode is just about a show that we watched, because then we just become spectators and life is meant to be lived. If there's something I know that much, even if it's going to end with me dying, life is meant to be lived. Whatever that means, however broad of a definition that is. Like, I just see society, especially with COVID and fear and the economy and war and illness and everything crashing down, being this thing that just watches TV. Kids will be born and they'll be born in front of an iPad and then in front of a screen and then a laptop, and that will be their whole existence. And to me, it's a very two-dimensional way to live, to be a spectator to existence and just watch YouTube of people reacting to other videos. You could make a video on your phone reacting to a YouTube video on your computer, and the YouTube video could be someone reacting to a movie that they saw, and the movie could be a movie made about YouTube reactors. You get where I'm saying? It's an infinite loop.
What if you have to go through like 15 dimensions of that, and then you get whatever it is you're always seeking?
The thing that I'm missing.
Exactly. You make a video about a video about a video, and then make a movie, and then make a
video's a reaction. Blah, blah, blah. So then you have to keep going. Well, that's why I believe...
shit like this to fuck with him, because now that's going to go in his head for the next week. Because he's like, oh my god, I have to make a reaction video to the podcast, and make a reaction to the reaction video of the podcast, and then I have to
then have people react to it, reacting to my reaction, and then I can react to people's reaction to me reacting to the reaction podcast of reacting of our podcast reaction.
It's a really not nice thing that I do too. Occasionally, where I just fuck with your schizophrenia.
No.
And I'm like, oh my god, the FBI's outside. Oh my god. And you're like,
you've gotten hurt that way.
I know.
In emotional ways.
I know.
Only.
I've stopped, but it's so funny sometimes.
Yeah.
It's been years since I've done it, but he's like, oh my god.
Could you imagine a woman saying, and this is a testament to what a great comic Lizzie DeRazzo, a woman that says, I'm probably going to get backhanded for this joke, but it's definitely worth it because it was fucking funny.
I mean, that's what you did last night.
When did I backhand you?
No.
Oh.
No, you got backhanded
compliments.
Yeah.
Wordplay is also a form of humor.
No, just the thing where like, your mom never taught you to shut the fuck up. You know?
I said it more dope.
No, it was pretty.
Your mom never taught you how to shut the fuck up.
It was pretty deliberate. Like that could have received a little shake.
That's what I'm saying is I feel like I am in this constant loop of trauma where I'm missing something. Like I feel like something I'm gonna do is gonna unlock this puzzle piece.
I know.
And whether it's joining a CIA or becoming a famous comedian or going back into rap or opening up my own church or volunteering. I have that, I showed you that list of old people, the senior people who are in hospice and dying. I've done that job when I was 20. I'm going to go back there because they need someone with them. They don't want to die alone. Or whether it's volunteering as something that's going to unlock my brain, that's finally going to make like my craziness go away and me enjoy life. Me say, I think, but this is it. I think the reason I have such a dissatisfaction with life is because if I say I love life, like if I truly embraced how great and magical and miracle life is, that we're just on this speck and this rock and it creates this miraculous, majestic, beautiful thing, and then I die and it goes away, it feels like being heartbroken. So it's almost like for all of life, I have to act like life sucks so I'm not heartbroken when it leaves.
Wow, that's so you.
Exactly.
That's so you. That's what you do with everything.
Yeah.
You catastrophize parts of me.
Yeah, to spare myself suffering.
But you do that for life in general?
Existence in general. Wow. Because if I die, I don't want to be like, oh my God, I miss life so fucking much. I wish I was back alive. So I have to warp that life is this weird, obscure. I mean, my life has been pretty fucked up, but I don't mean, I'm just kidding.
But no, but that's
that's what my mind does. Because it's like, imagine loving life every day. Then you're so scared to die and you die anyway. And then you try to be healthy, but you're still going to die. You can't stop yourself from dying.
Are you serious? Like that's you catastrophize life just so you can make sure that you don't feel bad if you die.
Yes, so I can feel okay with death because I'm afraid to fucking die. Ever since I was a teen, I was afraid. You don't think I'm so afraid to die? I made myself think life is so horrible and hopeless that when you've seen me in near-death experiences, I'm so accepting of it because I realize I'm going to die anyway. So I have to learn to let life go.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying is life is about letting go. Our cells are letting go. My hair is letting go. My sanity is letting go. My love is letting go. My passion is letting go. So wouldn't I just be letting go of life? I mean, that's like dementia. It's letting go, and the purpose of life is to just be in it and then lose it, and the only thing that matters is the love that you leave behind in that.
I'm just realizing your craziness on a deeper level than I've ever.
Yeah,
because I knew you do that in like day-to-day life,
but I do it with existence because I don't know what happens when I die.
I know, but I didn't realize
it's so fucking
you would catastrophize life in general.
Yeah, no, not catastrophize, just view it from a perception where I could be okay without it.
But the way you do that is by saying it's horrible.
Like I make myself fail. So I'm like, okay, it's good. Now, like I was a mentally ill comic performer, failed comic performer. So dying is like a relief. Whereas like, imagine if you had a great life and then you died, you'd be so miserable with it.
No, but I really didn't. I didn't know that about you. I didn't know that you would think of life as negative, like, so that if you died that...
Well, life isn't positive or negative. Life just is. And how we interpret it is the add-on. We each put our own lens into what life is. And that's why humans have interests in other humans, is they like to see what lens did this person put on it? What lens did this person? That's why a lot of people are attracted to positive people, because if they feel bad about their life, they're like, oh, I want to see their positive lens. Whereas the reason I put kind of a negative lens on life is because I don't know what happens when I die. And if this gorgeous, miraculous creation from a divine being is that I get to experience, and I get to breathe air, and I get to walk, and I get to see nature, and I get to hear birds chirp, and I get to see like rainbows, and I get to see the sunshine, and then that goes away from me, that would make me cry forever. So I have to think of it as dark and fucked up and rape and murder and genocide and serial killers and illness and disease and poverty, because that way I feel okay letting life go.
And also okay not procreating.
Exactly.
That's sad.
That's a dark fucking night.
That's really sad.
But that's what it is. I don't know what happens when I die. So I have to live my life according to that weird, obscure fact that I don't think others put into the equation. So I don't even know it. I manipulate myself into think I'm being manipulated by life being some weird cosmic thing so I can feel okay with letting go, because it's fucking heartbreaking. Like this life that's so gorgeous and so miraculous and so beautiful and so intrinsically everything is the perfect design and so beautiful and so consciousness itself is amazing. That would go away from me, and I don't know if I'll ever see it again. That familiarity, that breathing, that walking, that seeing, that hearing, birds chirping and the trees going, that all that godlike beauty is going to go away from me, and I can't control that. It just is. I have to distort the picture of it so I can feel okay letting go and accepting whatever death is.
Right, but I mean, a lot of us believe that it's only going to be heightened and brought to another.
Well, that's what I believe, but also
But you
I
have
don't
to
know.
make yourself feel that it's going to be shit and it's going to go away and you're going to be miserable, because if it's not that case,
If life is better than death, then I fucked up. If being in life is better than death, then I fucked my whole life up, and I would feel heartbroken over that.
wow.
Like I wasted my life
I don't.
focused on death rather than living in my life.
Yeah.
Rather than living the life that God gave me, I was so fixated on death because it was so terrifying when I was a teenager and I didn't understand it, and I had mental illness and I had schizophrenic voices and schizophrenic hallucinations, and no one around me could explain what was happening to me. So I was going to church and I was going to therapists and I was reading all these ancient religions and shit. I was trying to figure out what that unknown was. I couldn't focus on the known, which is life.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Well, I got to learn a lot about Ranger Random.
Eternal life.
So this is Ranger Random and Deputy Durazo signing off.